Hello, and this is my video detailing the pre-awakening and awakening wizard changes on the Global Lab patch on November 19th, 2021. So first of all, pre-awakening, they made it such that our mana absorption no longer targets our fairy, which is quite nice. And they also changed, as far as I can tell, just the particle effect of the pre-awakening dodge. I do not notice any mechanical changes. Now for awakening. Well, also kind of pre-awakening. If we have an awakening pet summon based on what pet it is, our pre-awakening dodge gets a special particle effect. Actually, before awakening changes, the global kit changes. They remove the passives that were wildly imbalanced for all classes and gave all classes this plus something or other 2%. My person who translates for me is still ZZ right now. So yeah, and it's kind of funny because a lot of times they rolled what the class passive used to do into the class passive that you get when you level up. Like for example, Wizard lost the 20 AP, and now, along with cast speed, we also gain a total of 12 AP. So it went from 20 AP passive plus 12% cast speed to 12 AP plus 10% cast speed and plus 2% of whatever this happens to be. So yeah, it's good that they are addressing the pretty serious balance issues that seem to arise from certain class passives. However, at the same time, they're not exactly addressing it because they're really sometimes just saying, oh, we will put this there. But either way, from what I've seen, they seem to kind of be splitting the difference in a lot of cases, which is still very nice. Now for Awakening. As you are seeing me play with it, they have greatly improved the Awakening dodge. What if I just did the entire video and did not mention the dodge at all, and people were like, wait a second. Nope, I dream, but I don't dream that much. So the dodge, it's still a soft cooldown, 4-second soft cooldown super armor. It now lingers not quite as long as it did before. However, that is a very small price to pay for the extremely nice speed, extremely nice distance, and still very low stamina cost. So, yeah, that's that. And look at the particle effect. Depending on what pet you have summoned, you get a particle effect. Marg has a fire one, and Margaret has a water one. Now, speaking of Marg and Margaret, they also improved the commune calling and the commune attack. If I use commune calling, Marg becomes very passive, and even if a bunch of things attack me and attack him, he's like, meh, whatever. However, it's kind of weird because, like, if I use this ability, Marg is like, oh, I'm still gonna do my thing. But if I use this ability that has a Marg cast of flow, then Marg gets a little bit angry for a while, and then he goes back to being passive. So he's still a little bit temperamental, but these things happen. So, the next thing they did was, for the WRMB skill, they removed the slow frames on cast, and they also did this thing where how it's supposed to work is if you have a target selected, then it will do what you just saw there, where you will not dash forward and you will just attack right in front of you. However, it doesn't quite seem to be working as it's supposed to. I haven't been able to replicate it every time I want to exactly how I want to, so I will experiment more with that before I do an actual bug report. But either way, yep, so that is quite nice. Now, they also increase the damage by approximately 20% on our SQ skill, which is quite nice. It already did a ton of damage, now it does a little bit more than a ton, I guess. And they also increase the damage on Aqua Gel. So, also by around 20%. Let me see what it was before. You have to scroll down and read. It was 748 times 13, and now it's 897 times 13. So, yeah, around 20%. And the fire skill was previously 981 times 3 up to 4 hits, and now it is 1177 times 3 up to 4 hits. So, yep, around 20%. And a very minor change, but still one that exists, so why not mention it? They now have a critical hit rate of 10% for 10 seconds on this skill instead of 8 for 10 seconds. But whatever. But it's still a thing, so why not? Now, another minor but still overall positive change they made is the 10% cast speed that used to be on your Volite is now on your Cataclysm. See, shorter cooldown, an overall more versatile skill, and yep. So it's a nice thing. Now, they fixed the glitch that was there last week, where so that they introduced a new mechanic last week, where based on what pit you had summoned, different abilities would get different effects. How it was now there was only 1 out of the 4 that was working last week, and that was the one. Oops, where if your Margaret is summoned, your Aqua Jail has a different AoE shape. It now does a 5-second 20 DP buff to you, even if it doesn't hit anything, and it does a 40% 10-second movement speed debuff to the opponent. Now, also one thing to note is while the animation looks like it is faster, and a lot of people commented to me on that, the total time between registering the input for this animation and starting another skill if you buffer the input is the same, regardless of whether you do or do not have your Margaret summoned. And the ones that are now working that were not working last week are the Chilling Wave that is supposed to do 4 additional Margaret hits. Now works. You see Margaret kind of goes forward and puts water on things. And the Marg ones, none of which were working last week, are now both working. Your Cataclysm has 2 additional Marg hits when he punches the ground. And the thing that I last week mistakenly thought was Hellfire was indeed Bull-Eyes, and it does have 4 additional hits. So yeah, all things considered, extremely nice changes. And no, I guess that's it. I was thinking about doing a secession part of the video, so I paused. However, I will probably miss a whole bunch of things, so I think it's better if I reread and replay around with all of the secession things to make sure that I actually do a video that is of mediocre quality instead of completely horrible quality. So yeah, I hope that this video was informative.